Welcome back, fellow cardboarder. I hope the day finds you well. I am finally sharing my Gruul control deck with Klothys at the head of the deck, and here's another installment of Think Outside the Deck Box. So let's very first briefly look at the commander of the deck, Klothys, here in English on the side. Has indestructible, and for 3 you get a 4/5 god with she's not a creature as long as you have less than 6 red or green pips on cards. So she already pays for 2 of these pips and 5 more pips and she becomes a creature. More importantly, the second part, because we actually don't want her most of the time to be a creature, so she's less likely to be removed, is the last paragraph here, which says right after your draw step, so pre-combat main phase, you exile a card from a graveyard, and if it was a land card, you get some red or green mana. If it wasn't, you just get 2 life and everyone gets dealt 2 damage. Now, and this can be used tactically as a removal already, as like a control kind of move, though you cannot really react to anything. So either we use her as ramp or to deal damage and go further into our game plan of, well, winning the game and dealing damage. Now, the idea is to build a, well, non-Esper deck here. So we have a Gruul control deck. We have a whole bunch of cards that I would count towards control. I split the deck into different categories as always. You have the card draw pile, you have another ramp pile here, some recursion, some damage pile, some actually land destruction pile. If you don't like land destruction, just leave it out, put something else in. Some stacks, again, if you don't like it, just change it out, and 1 combo to win with if we wanted to. Again, if you're not a combo player, switch it out. And lastly, a land pile. Now let's first look at cards that can actually be counted towards control in a red and green deck. So we have Artifact Blast here from Antiquities, and this is such a cool and unique card. And man, I have countered a Soaring turn 1 from a player, and they were not having it. They actually came out kind of salty. Like these cards you never see, and I had so much fun just throwing their Soaring back to their grave. Red Elemental Blast here. There are several that counter specific colors or look at specific colors in general. So we either counter a blue spell or we actually destroy a blue permanent, which can already be quite useful, though kind of restricted, obviously. So Guttural Response also counters a blue instant, quite specific. But don't worry, we have also less specific counters and control cards in this deck, but I needed to put some in. With Pyroblast, again, destroys a blue permanent or counters a blue spell. Now we are going into less specific cards. Tibble Trickery counters a spell. Then we randomly choose 1, 2, or 3 that controller mills that many cards and then exiles cards until they reveal a card with a different name than the countered one, and they play that for free if they want to. They cast it for free. And this one I really like. It's a great red staple and also got quite expensive already. Green Slime is another sleeper card in my opinion, which I really like because you play it kind of as a trap card. So you foretell it by paying 2 colorless and put it face down into exile, and from then on next turn you may cast it for just 1 green. It has flash and counters an activated or triggered ability of an artifact or enchantment, already great, but it actually also destroys that very card. So wonderful removal card in my opinion, and then counts as a creature. Great card in my opinion. You should try it out and let me know how you think of what you think of this card. Emerald Dragon. We less play it for its dragon ability of paying 6 for 4/4, but the Dissonant Wave again counters an activated or triggered ability from any non-creature source. Very useful, and in my opinion, yeah, in a Gruul control deck, it's good. Don't expect an Esper strong deck, but a fun green-red Gruul control deck that people will underestimate at some point, and then you win, you know? Don't expect it to be high power. Moxfield actually put it at bracket 4 because we also play land destruction. We have a 2 card combo in here, but actually It is a fun control deck. We play Bolt Bend, which most of the time will cost 4, except if we have a bigger creature on the field. Klothys would have to have her Devotion to be a creature, so yeah, obviously Deflecting Swat is much better, but I think Bolt Bend is still a great card and people will not expect it to happen from a red deck, you know. And we have several ramp cards and leave our mana open very often. Deflecting Swat, as you already saw, costs nothing because we have our commander out most of the time, and then we can just change a target of a spell or ability. We have the Chef's Kiss, the German version here, which actually would be retranslated to Fingerlickin' Good, kind of. Chef's Kiss in German is not really a thing. So you take control over a spell, which has a single target, and then you copy it and choose another random target, which cannot target your staff or yourself, which is, I think, a very unique and fun card to play around with. Nature's Claim destroys artifact enchantment, and they gain 4 life. Beast Within destroys a permanent and gives them a beast, a 3/3/1. Vandal Blast, solid card to be included in any red deck, destroys all artifacts that you don't control if you pay the overload costs. With Kenrith's Transformation, which also draws you a card, which is nice, so it replaces itself already, and it just removes a creature's text box entirely and turns them into a 3/3 Elk. Chaos Warp, not much to say here, you just put a permanent from anyone into their deck and shuffle it and reveal the top card. Whatever is on top they may put onto the battlefield if possible. Scavenging Ooze is a great card to use as a redundancy piece to Klothys, to be also able to remove cards from graveyards for just a simple green mana at instant speed and make the Scavenging Ooze bigger as well. Now on to the card draw pile. We have several unique card draw cards here because red and green aren't the best cards to draw cards with in a control kind of environment. So we have Viridian Revel, which draws us cards whenever any artifact is put into a opponent's graveyard, which is very useful with Vandal Blast, which draws a whole bunch of cards. Composed is a card that draws us cards whenever black cards go into graveyards, and black likes to sacrifice stuff. So most of the time we have a black player that will also have stuff put into their graveyard, and this will pay off quite nicely. Keen Sense is a political card. You could put it onto Klothys if she's a creature and you are able to maintain that, because then we would draw 3 cards whenever we choose the second part of her ability of dealing 2 damage to each opponent by exiling a non-land card. We could also put it onto any opponent's creature to have a curiosity effect, as long as they deal damage to any of our other opponents. So try it out, see where you would put it, depending on the situation. Well of Lost Dreams is one of the key cards in this deck to draw us cards, because with our commander out, this draws us at least 2 cards for 2 mana every turn, but if we have some more life gain, this could also draw us even more cards. Howling Mine, very nice and political card. People love you for having this lying around, so maybe people will leave you alone a little, and everyone draws more cards as long as it stays untapped. We don't have any tappers in this deck, I think. Sylvan Library, solid card, not much to say here. Everyone knows it, I think. Can get us up to 3 cards every turn by paying more life, and we really aggressively want to pay the life because we get the life back also, so we don't mind much, you know. Harmonize, simple spell, draws us 3 cards. Gamble, I put it also into the card draw category because card draw is one of the weaknesses of this deck. It has several ones in there, but depending on the situation, we will probably get us a card draw card. Maybe if we have one of the 2 combo pieces, we will get the other one. Maybe if we need a specific control spell, we would get that. But most of the time, probably we will get a card draw spell. Maybe a Wheel of Fortune to draw 7 cards for everyone. I also like to play this politically, so asking the table if they want a new hand and have democracy choose what will happen. Similarly, the Magus of the Wheel, which we can sack for a new hand for everyone. And then we have Fort, which I also put into this card draw category because maybe we will copy a spell that draws cards. Maybe we find some other spell that is very nice and we want a copy of. Next up, the ramp pile, we play a unique card called Shadow in the Warp, which reduces the first creature spell we cast by 2, so commander attacks would go down if our commander is destroyed. and also deals damage, so it could go into the damage category as well, wherever you want to put it. And it's a solid card, deals a whole bunch of damage for opponent's non-creature spells. Splendid Reclamation. We have some land destruction, and now we're able to get the lands back, which is mean, but somehow this deck has to win, and one way is by our opponents not having any lands left. Preserve Crucifix makes sure that we play a land every turn most of the time and gives us some life gain back. Again, with the well that you saw earlier, this would also function very nicely by having us draw a card per land that we play. We have the Wayfarer's Bauble, which gets us a land tapped. We play 3 visits, classic cards that you would include in a green deck. Not much to say here, nothing special. Search for Tomorrow, great turn 1 ramp card to play, and 2 turns later you get that. Omen I like because it has some scrying ability, and then Cultivate and Kodama's Reach. More interestingly, the Recursion pal, because I think not many people know Reap. I'm not sure if I made a video about it. I think I made a video about this card, why it is so great. Because you will always have a player that has black cards in their graveyard. And yeah, put this in many green decks, in most of your green decks. If you have cards that are important to you that would die, why not put it in, you know? Like, you can get... Even if you only get like 4 cards, that would already be great for just 2 mana, right? So yeah, keep that card in mind, don't forget it. It's not even a rare, it's not even on the reserve list, costs a couple of bucks, you know. Reclaim puts a card on top of the library, same here with the Noxious Revival. You can also play it for free at instant speed. Eternal Witness and Balagat Recovery. Most of the time we'll play it on the front side, the Balagat and Eternal Witness. Both of them get us a card from our graveyard back to our hand. Now, a card not many people know about is the Primal Order, which I also really like. It's an enchantment for 4, and at the beginning of the upkeep of every player, they get dealt 1 damage per non-basic land. And a little teaser, we are not playing many non-basic lands. A couple, but not that many. And that makes this card quite strong. We also have the Price of Progress in there somewhere, so we are punishing people for not playing basic lands. Similarly, the Mishra's Ankh, which could actually deal us a couple of damage also with the ramp that we're playing. So keep that in mind that you only play this one when you're not planning on ramping ahead that much anymore. Torbrand to deal a whole bunch of more damage with all your red sources now. Klothys will also deal 4 damage with each of her triggers by exiling non-land cards, so it's a nice and key card in this deck because many are then augmented with their damage that we're doing. Now, Harsh Mentor, whenever an opponent activates an ability of artifact, creature, or land, they get dealt 2 damage. With the Torbrand, they get dealt 4 damage, and now they really have to think. Similarly, Ancient Runes, a 3-mana enchantment that at the beginning of each player's upkeep deals 1 damage per artifact, similarly to the Primal Order here. Instead of non-basic lands, now they get dealt damage per artifact. We're playing a couple, but we don't mind if we get dealt 2 or 3 damage. Treasure players are now kind of dead. Ether, Flash, make sure that no one plays creatures anymore or smaller creatures. Every creature that enters gets dealt 2 damage. The Descent into Avernus could count as ramp as well because it also creates a whole bunch of treasures and deals a whole bunch of damage throughout turn rotations. I really like this one just as a political card as well. It's a really cool card and gives some pace to the game, you know. Price of Progress, I already teased. Non-basic lands deal 2 damage to their controller. And Backdraft is a fun little card, which actually can kill a player by them playing black cards like a Blasphemous Act or so. This comes out of the blue and just kills a player that plays a board wipe that would deal damage. Pyrrhemia can be triggered multiple times, dealing 1 damage to every creature and every player. Our commander is indestructible, we don't mind much. Keep in mind we always have to have at least 1 creature out, or someone has, so this one, so that we don't have to sacrifice this one. If we are able, that's already 4 devotion, those 2 have like 3 more devotion in form of enchantments or so. We could just wipe the board and everyone will not play any creatures anymore if we have the red mana left. Delayed Blast Fireball is another really nice board wipe that I like because it is kind of a Cyclonic Rift in red, dealing only damage to our opponent's creatures and our opponents. So we played with Foretell in exile for 2, and later on at instant speed we can cast it for 6, dealing 5 damage to everyone but us and our stuff. And Blasphemous Act we also play in here, obviously. Next up, Land Destruction. Very unliked, but I mean, a Gruul control deck, come on, like, we can play some Land Destruction, right? Jokel Hobbs destroys artifact, creatures, and lands. They can't be regenerated. Destructive Force, I think it is in English. For 7, we have everyone sacrifice 5 lands and deal 5 damage to every creature. Tectonic Break, now we can be controlled. How many lands are being sacrificed? So for X, we can have everyone sacrifice X lands. If we have multiple lands more than everyone else, maybe let's say everyone has 5 and we have 10 lands, why not have everyone just sacrifice 5 lands, right? Why would we want to sacrifice 10 lands? Ruination destroys all non-basic lands. This is kind of a numbo with the everyone is dealt damage equal to their non-basic lands, but we will have to see and weigh the options if we want to destroy them all or have them deal damage. If they already have been dealt damage, then we can just destroy that, right? Stax cards. Titania's Song is a really cool card. Artifacts lose all their abilities and are now creatures. This destroys all kinds of token strategies as well. Destroys all treasures, you know. Like, this is such a cool and unique card, and I think should be tried out more. It's not really a mean card, but a cool card, making sure that signets become useless creatures, you know. Smoke makes everyone not be able to untap more than 1 creature. We have like the little weakness in this deck that we don't really play much blockers. We have board wipes, obviously, Blasphemous Act and the like, but we don't have many blockers, so we are getting punched in the face a couple of times throughout the game. We get some life back with Klothys, obviously, but making sure that they can't untap more than 1 creature should not be underestimated. Nulrod we're also playing, deactivating all artifacts activations. I think it's a mean card, obviously, but it kind of works somehow, you know. Damping Sphere makes spells cost more and more per spell that they cast, so we're going against some stormy cantripy decks here. I must confess, sometimes I actually get some backfire from this card myself by wanting to play more cards, so yeah, maybe I would put it out of this deck. I'll try it out a couple more times and see how it plays. And then mean card of the meanies, Blood Moon. Every non-basic land is a mountain. People just play less non-basics, am I right? Lastly, our little combo here with the Dualcaster Mage and Twin Flame. The idea is you have another creature, you play Twin Flame onto the creature, then play the Dualcaster Mage, copying the Twin Flame, copying the Dualcaster Mage, copying the Twin Flame, copying. Then you have infinite Dualcaster Mages that have all haste and can attack right away, and you just win. Kind of boring, kind of a 2-card combo. I mean, you need a 3rd creature, but it's not hard to do to have any Scavenging Ooze Eternal Witness out, and as a starting target, and then you just win the game by infinitely attacking and dealing damage. I mean, a Ghostly Prison would counter that, so yeah. I don't know. You can leave it in or not, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which Gruul cards you would have also included in such a Gruul control deck. Let's quickly look at the land base, which is very short because we're playing a whole bunch of basic lands, but Thawing Glaciers is a great card in this deck, because every other turn we can fetch for another basic land by returning it back to our hand. We're playing War Room, which is another card draw card, and only costs us 2 life to draw another card with this land. We have Wasteland and Strip Mine in here. We also play Ghost Quarter, and that is it. These 3 are to control strong and mean lands like Chaos Cradle. We're playing 12 forests, I think, and 14 beautiful Mercadian Masks mountains. And now, let me all hear you in the comments. What do you think of such a unique deck? Any cards you would have included? As always, the description also contains the deck list of such a Klothys deck. Surround yourself with positive people, and yeah, now let's blow up some Soul Rings, am I right? Turn 1? Anyone? See you in the next video. Bye bye!